Yes, folks. I'm Chuck Jones.
I'm Mark Scott.
I'm Randy Jackson.
We are back for another great week of professional wrestling. There's been a lot of excitement around the wires, and we are ready to dive right in, and we're going to keep it straight down the middle like we always do. Our buddy Mark Scott is back from assignment. Please let us know how that went down.
That went great. It went great. I saw a lot of things, greased a couple palms, shaked a couple hands, kissed a couple babies, got things done for the show.
So the bottom line is, now that we're back in full force, let's go ahead and run down a list of all the popular shows and events that have happened this week. We'll get into some news and notes, and then we'll give you our gripes, which is also known as the kitchen bitches, and then we'll let you know what's going on for the future. So the first thing starting off is Monday Night Raw. WWE, the premier show of the week. The main thing that I think us and any one of you wrestling fans out there could take from Monday Night Raw was the match between John Cena and Antonio Cesaro. I mean, another instant classic turned in. Now, this is the one thing that I want, before I hand it over to my colleagues here, this is the one thing that I do want to point out for all of you professional wrestlers out there striving to be on this level. When you watch the match between Big Match John and Cesaro, I want you to watch Cesaro closely. Cesaro blew up 2 to 3 times in that match. The way he lost his energy and regained it is like something that I have never seen before. I mean, he was tired, he was blown, he was exhausted, he did a couple of rest moves, and then he got right back in the flow of things. He never made John look bad any time of the night, and he made the match look credible. They got 30 minutes on Monday Night Raw to showcase their skills and abilities, and I am so happy that we finally get to see Cesaro. We know what John Cena is made of already. I am happy to see Cesaro. Take it away.
Well, I agree with you there. I mean, the thing that gets me about Cesaro is it's just what's lost in this generation of wrestling, and so that's the fundamentals. People are gonna blow up. This didn't happen since wrestling started. But the thing is, when you blow up, you get into a rest move. But you got to make that rest move look believable, that you're actually still grinding and putting the pressure and the lock on the competitor, but you're resting the whole time. But you got to make it not look like a rest move. Because I didn't see some of these young, newer cats get in here, these 2,000 wrestlers, and they blow up, and then they get in a rest move, and it looks like they're resting. You know what I mean?
And not only that, now, folks, for those of you who don't know what we're saying by blowing up means being tired.
Yes.
And being blown out of energy. I'm not trying to say anybody's stupid here, but when a guy loses his energy and he gets tired, he gets sloppy in the ring.
Yes.
When I look at a wrestler like Cesaro, I see a person that can regain his strength, regain his energy, and we all know that Cesaro's main offense is built off of power moves. And for power moves, you got to have a lot of energy to do that. I've seen this guy go out, take the deep breaths, and regroup at the end of the night. And that was one thing that I was very proud to see. But that is a consummate professional. And us all here on this panel have been very critical of wrestlers like Ryback and certain others who, when they blow up, the match goes down the hill from there.
Yeah.
Randy, please let us know how you felt about the match.
It was a great match. I mean, but I expected nothing less other than from Cesaro or John Cena. If you've seen their matches in the past, how they've been working their way up to this shit, you can see where this is going, where most likely Kevin Owens is going to beat John Cena. Then you get to SummerSlam, and it's probably going to be a triple threat match. That's how it's looking. They're going to insert Cesaro. It's sad that Tyson Kidd damn near had to die for him to get a push, but that's what it's looking like right now. And with that being said, I'm proud that John Cena, how can I put this without being controversial, had the balls to fucking speak up for Cesaro.
Yeah. And not only that, and I'll tell you something else too, because yes, it was a lot of John Cena's insight backstage that ended up getting Cesaro into the spotlight where he needed to be. We all been saying it for years, and we've all been here on this panel, and we've been crying to see Cesaro get to the main stage. And yes, it shouldn't take Tyson Kidd being injured, and Tyson Kidd, we hope you do get well. But just know that when you get back, you may not have a tag team partner because this guy is the real deal. And we've been saying it for a long time. And yes, we got Kevin Owens, we got John Cena. You know, the pay-per-view is this Sunday coming up, WWE Battleground. And if all the stars align like they're supposed to, Kevin Owens is supposed to go over on Cena. But the way they set it up on Monday Night Raw, the way Cesaro came out and punked Owens and made him leave, and he brought on the 5-star match with John Cena, you know there's a triple threat brewing. And we did touch on this a little bit, Amar, but you are now back with us.
Well, I can see the triple threat brewing at SummerSlam. And that's how you're going to change it up. This is how you get, because, you know, Randy was right when he said this about a couple weeks ago. After this Battleground, you can't go back to Kevin Owens and John Cena again, even though the matches have been outstanding. And one thing I have to disagree a little bit, in my opinion, the second match was a little bit better than the first match, and just a little bit. And this is just my opinion. Just my opinion. There was a Canadian destroyer broke out, and you know, with 2 big guys, not with like 2 little guys, and it worked. I mean, they constantly raised the bar every time they got in the ring with each other. Now, but you can't go back to it after this third time. This third time's got to be it. That's where Cesaro comes in. And then, granted, Big Johnny spoke up for the man, but he shouldn't have had to do that. Cesaro's wrestling ability alone should have got him on that upper ladderment to the top, not somebody coming to speak. This is where the politics in wrestling, which I can't stand, but you know, it happens. Politics is everywhere. Everybody politicking. And it's politics in wrestling that it stinks. You know, I mean, somebody has to, it's not about what you know or how you can get it done in the ring. It's about who you know. You know what I mean? Because a lot of guys that I'm not gonna really be kicking nobody in the butt or jabbing nobody in the ribs, but a lot of guys that's almost at the main event status right now. It's all about who they know. It's not what they know.
And I agree with that. And one main note to take away from Monday Night Raw, aside from the instant classic that we saw between Cesaro and John Cena, was the main event angle between Brock Lesnar and Seth Rollins. And basically you saw Seth Rollins. He was rewarding, you know, J&J Security and Kane and everything like that. Brock Lesnar came out and made it abundantly clear that, you know, this Sunday on pay-per-view, and I believe this to be true, Seth Rollins, you're going to get fucked up real bad. And I believe that. The way he destroyed that Cadillac, and it hurt my eyes to see the Cadillac go down like that. And Jamie Noble, once again, got really, truly hurt again. You know, I'm starting to feel like maybe, I'm starting to feel like, you know, Jamie Noble and Brock Lesnar maybe can't be a part of the same segment. He hurts really bad after these exchanges with Brock Lesnar.
But you see, if you look at the fucking, when he, what's that, Mercury, he suplexed him on his head.
Yeah.
He dropped him right on his fucking head on the hood of the car. Like, Brock, calm down, man. You gotta be careful.
Kick back, man.
Yeah, you gotta start protecting people. I get it. You have to take somebody to Suplex City. But shit, you can't sit there and kill these dudes before any goddamn thing. They really ain't gonna be in the goddamn match at the pay-per-view. That's gonna be because they really hurt.
But you know what's the most hilarious part about all that on Monday? Those Hawaiian pictures of Kane and Hawaii.
Yeah, because he was off on vacation.
Damn. The big red machine on the beach.
I'll tell you what, if anybody needed a vacation, it was Kane. If anybody needed a vacation, it was Kane, because that motherfucker, he main events every time you turn around. That motherfucker's on the head top of the show.
On cue.
You know. But moving right along, that was the gist of Monday Night Raw. And I also want to point out one more thing about Monday Night Raw, folks. Make sure that when you watch Battleground this Sunday, make sure that you really keep an eye on that Roman Reigns and Bray Wyatt feud. It got a little bit further and a little bit more testy. You know, this is the one thing I can say about these two guys. For I can be honest with everyone here on the panel, I haven't been sold on neither one of them. Now, Bray Wyatt, I've praised him in the past for having, I praised him in the past for having the mind games, but when he gets in the ring, I want to go to the bathroom. That type of deal. Well, between him and Roman Reigns, the way they're making it look, don't be surprised, gentlemen, if the winner of this match doesn't challenge the winner of Seth Rollins versus Brock Lesnar at SummerSlam, because I really see it going that way.
I gotta You know, I don't know. The thing is with them two, I put it like this. They look good on the build-up, and I'll give them that. They both look good on the build-up, but I need to see it done again in the ring. Now, I'm not saying that they need to prove anything or anything like that. I just want to see a real good match with them in the ring. I don't want to see this big build-up. And I'm not saying this happened with them before, but it's happened in situations before where we saw and Bray Wyatt, I'm sorry, even though he got hurt in WrestleMania, we saw a real good build-up with him and Undertaker, got to the match, and it was subpar. You know what I'm saying? Even though he was hurt, you know what I mean? Got to give him that. You know, he went out and still made it work. But I don't want to see a big-ass build-up, and when you get in the ring, there's nothing. You know what I mean? But I don't think that's going to happen. I think they're going to be outstanding. I think these guys understand that the time is now for them, and they need to progressively get better and do better in matches. Not saying that they're doing bad, but just saying they need to do better in the matches because you got other people that's coming that's hungry. You know what I mean? And they don't want to lose their spot.
And they're getting better by the day.
Yeah, that's what's competition is pushing these, and that's the good thing about it. With the competition coming in, it's pushing these guys to have great matches in the pay-per-views. Don't just give us a Raw match. Give us a pay-per-view match, which I have no doubt that they're going to bring it in. But I don't think they're going to challenge whoever wins because I believe that's going into SummerSlam with them too.
But
well,
see,
I believe it's going to SummerSlam.
But see, if you sit here and look at it, it's like this. What should happen is they have a good match. What should happen is what the people want is a fucking rematch between Brock and motherfucking Roman Reigns. That's what the people want. Because
what people?
There's a lot of people asking for that shit out there. Because if you sit there and think about it,
I agree. It's only logical.
Yeah, because you left. It's a question mark. You like, okay,
because
Brock took him to Suplex City, right? That's when Suplex City got established from Brock.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, it was a high impact match where people even start believing that Roman Reigns can go over. But I mean, getting around that, if we stay around the whole WrestleMania thing, is I can't throw that on. I'm not gonna throw that on Bray. I blame the Undertaker for that shit.
No, I do.
Because the Undertaker came back shitty.
But it was,
and that's really has to be said. And he basically buried that kid.
He basically looked like Mel Gibson from Payback.
Who?
Undertaker. With that hair.
Mel Gibson could go in Payback. Undertaker couldn't go in that goddamn match. Undertaker didn't come back ready. I don't give a fuck what kind of shape he had. He did not come back ready, and he sat there and buried that kid. See, that's why I said that, hey, they need to let Bray Wyatt go over him because it didn't make no difference. At WrestleMania, it was the fucking shovels was out because Rusev went down and fucking Bray Wyatt went down. 2 stars that you could push. See, and the thing about it is the WWE gonna have to fix this shit because they on a bad path right now. Because you got the people like the Roman Reigns, the Rusevs, the Dolph Zigglers, the fucking Bray Wyatts that's been there busting their ass, and then motherfucking Kevin Owens has only been there a cup of coffee, and you hand him the kingdom.
But the difference is Kevin Owens' in-ring ability. It's just
so Dolph Ziggler don't have any ring?
I'm not saying Dolph Ziggler, but
okay,
you know, it's some stuff. Remember we talked about this months ago. There's something personal with Dolph Ziggler. I don't know. Did he nail Stephanie? Did he not pass? Did he pass up on Linda or something? I don't know.
I think he might have told Stephanie no
or something because there's something because the guy I don't understand why he's being pushed back, but. I just feel, and
you got to reward the people in the trenches, man. You can't just pass over people and you come back to them and be like, oh yeah, no, that's okay. You don't need a reign. You don't need this big push because we're going to push this dude.
I feel they got Brock Lesnar there to basically legitimize Seth Rollins' title run.
They need to start using him as an enhancement talent.
That's what I thought they were going to use him for. They're not going to put the title back on him. And I'm a first. I could be wrong. Honestly, it's just my belief they're not. This
is controversial. What I'm going to say. We're going to finish this up so you can get on to the next. Seth Rollins needs to beat Brock Lesnar because Seth Rollins' title reign is not there. It's not there. He needs that big win. Dean Ambrose wasn't it because they did it too many times. He wasn't that big win that fucking put him like, okay, I'm the man. Because how they doing his character, they got him running around like a little bitch, man. I'm just saying. And he got to win convincingly.
Yeah.
If he go in there and they have like 19 people helping him, then it's gonna tarnish everything.
And I agree with you there, but I don't believe I just don't believe they're gonna do that. I believe the guy's here to legitimize his rank is right. He does need it. He's beat Ambrose by himself with no help, and I don't think he's gonna go over on Brock Lesnar at Battleground. I believe it's gonna be some kind of disqualification / kind of BS or whatever the case may be. But in SummerSlam, he didn't go over, and then everybody's gonna look like, wait a minute, he ran from Ryback, and Brock Lesnar's been dominating, tore up a car, blah blah blah, but he lost to Rollins. That's gonna legitimize, say Rollins is the man. And if Rollins loses the title, it's going to be to one of those young bucks. Because if he beats Brock Lesnar, because look, this is the thing where we're talking about helping out the younger talent. When Brock Lesnar beat The Undertaker, which I thought that shouldn't have went to him, it should have went to CM Punk, you know what I mean? But when he got the streak, this is what you give him the streak for. If he loses, if he beats the man that beat the man that was the one in 21 and 1, you know what I'm saying? Now that puts that on like Rollins is the man that beat Brock Lesnar. Fair and square. Now, when he loses to the next young guy, could be Reigns, it could be, you know, whoever, you know what I mean? But when he loses to that guy, now that guy has instant credibility because he's beaten Rollins, who's beat the man that has the one in 21 and 1. You know what I'm saying? It all trickles down him.
Well, there's a lot of mixed emotions about that, folks.
Yeah.
You're going to have to tune in next week to see how things go down as far as the Battleground pay-per-view goes. Yeah. Now, moving on in the week, we have the WWE's next premier show, WWE Nxt. And, you know, this match, this particular program showcased a lot of different talents. Samoa Joe went over on Axel Tucker. Solomon Crowe went over on Marcus Lewis. The Vaudevillains defeated Enzo and Kaz, you know, in a #1 contenders match for the NXT Tag Team titles. And I don't know if that's too cool because Enzo and Kaz, as you, Randy, brought out to me, they really had them grow on me. Like, I even say it at work now. Like,
you can't teach that.
You can't teach that. But they couldn't be taught to win a #1 contenders match.
See, that's another thing where it piss you off. Like they've been on this Rock of Gibraltar. They had them jobbing and shit like that before, and then they start getting on this winning streak to earn the fucking tag team title. Then you have them get screwed out of it with the what's that, Alexa Bliss broad? I think that's her name. She screwed them out of them, and then now you got them on a losing streak again. Now they can't be. You got to they're gonna give a fucking title shot to the Vaudevillains now.
They lost their chick.
You know,
they lost their chick.
No, Carmella's to her.
Oh, okay.
Because I mean, she a part of. You can't teach that.
Okay.
And one of the main stories coming out of the NXT show was the Divas Championship and how it was showcased on a particular night. It was a bit of a tag team contest between Dana Brooke and Emma. And, you know, the only person to come to Sasha Banks' aid was that of Charlotte Flair. And Charlotte Flair came with a stipulation of, I will help you. However, I do want a future title shot for the NXT Ladies title. And apparently that was granted and the match commenced. But we all know that on Monday Night Raw, expect to see Charlotte and Sasha Banks coming up because they are supposed to be added to the angle that helps Paige defeat the Bellas.
And I think that's a shit angle.
You don't think? You don't like it?
Because to me...
I don't really like it either.
Because to me, they should have found some bitches that needed help, that need to be pushed. If you bring them up as the 4 horsewomen. Like, just like the fucking like the Nexus did or whatever.
You can still do that.
And you should have did it like that. And then you had them run roughshod and tell them bros like, hey, we're the future, we're here, Bellas, bitches move over, you move over, you move over, we're taking over. And you go like that. That would have been the perfect fucking angle.
And I agree with that.
Well, here's me and the devil advocate again. I gotta disagree. I agree with you on the 4 horsemen thing. I really would have preferred them coming up that way. But I don't really find it a problem with the way they're going now because no divas are willing to help Paige. You know what I mean? And the angle and the story writing that they're right. Because everybody's all pro Bellas because of the fact that they got the backing by Stephanie McMahon. So nobody wants to come over here to help Paige. So Paige had to go to NXT to go find that help. And not only did she find the help, she found help that a lot of these girls that's on the main roster right now, you're going to be stuck at the bottom of the barrel once these girls come up and stay up. You know what I mean?
Because they're very good.
Yeah, they're very good. They're very good. You know, they're very good. They're what women wrestling should be, not models. I'm sorry, not pretty faces. Even though we like to see a pretty face, but get it done in the ring. You know what I mean? You're only as good as what you're doing in the ring. And that's basically what it is.
And pretty much, you know, to cap the NXT show, they also showcased the main event match from the Beast in the East, which we reported to you last Saturday, with Finn Balor defeating Kevin Owens in dramatic fashion in that of Japan. Be on the lookout for Kevin Owens. He's going to be moving up to the main roster now, and he's going to be taking on John Cena at Battleground for United States Heavyweight Championship. So if they do things right, we should be seeing a new United States champion, but that's to remain to be seen.
Think about what we can see after SummerSlam, after this little triple. If they go to triple threat with him, Cesaro, and Owens, John Cena, Owens, and Cesaro, think about what we're going to see after that when Johnny's out of the picture. When it's Cesaro and Owens.
It's going to be one hell of a contest if we can get that going.
Man, I hope they do.
Now, moving on in the week, Lucha Underground, El Rey Network, they're gearing up for their Extreme Lucha or Super Lucha, whatever the fuck they call it.
Lucha. What's the
Right.
Ultimate Lucha?
Ultimate Lucha. They're gearing up for their pay-per-view coming up. They had a few showcase matches. One of the matches that really stuck out for most of the night was Cage versus Willie Mack. Terrific match. Willie Mack ended up pulling it out. But the way they worked together, I mean, it appeared that they apparently had wrestled against each other before. And to give you direct knowledge on that is going to be Amar Scott with the wrestling champions from Hollywood. Give us the note on the background of that match.
It's a good old rivalry from the championship wrestlers from Hollywood when when Cage was a part of the group Natural Selection with the big bad gravy daddy Sean Ricker. He came out of the tag team to go one-on-one with Willie Mack on multiple occasions in Willie Mack's pursuit of the television title and chasing Scorpion Sky around. They had good matches then, and this match was just as good. Like Randy said, it was hard hitting. It was a lot of power. They wasn't fugaziing around in the ring with dancing and all that shit. I'm gonna say it, shit, but they got right to it. I'm telling you, it was a good match, real good match, and they didn't go no longer than about 5-6 minutes, but it was a good match. You can have good matches and have a 5-6. See, that's the thing. You can have a good match in 5 to 6 minutes. You can have an awful match and having a 30-minute match. It's just all about what you're gonna do when you're in the ring.
And I agree with that. And one of the other main premier matches of Lucha Underground was the big tag team match. Well, it was more of a four-way, eight-man tag. You had Team Alberto, El Patron, which was Alberto El Patron, Sexy Star, Ford Aerostar, and Drago versus Team Johnny.
What did he say? Ford Aerostar.
That was one of them fucking minivans. Team Johnny,
shit.
Johnny Mundo, Hernandez, Jack Evans, and Superfly, and it's not Ron O'Neal. Rest in peace.
And we ain't talking about Jimmy Snuka either.
Now, Randy, I want you to be honest with me here, and I want you to give me your insight on this big tag team match.
It was a shit match.
It
was a shit match.
Yeah.
I didn't like it.
It wasn't good.
I didn't like it because I don't know. I get it. They try to put the Sexy Star chick up in there, but sometimes you don't need to include her.
That poor girl gets fucked up every time I see her.
Pentagon Jr. almost broke her.
Yeah, I mean, but they had Pentagon Jr. I think that's the reason why he wasn't in that, because they had something else for him to do.
And what is that, Randy?
Come on, give it to him.
To have him beat Vampiro's ass.
Beat the dog shit out of Vampiro.
It started like 15 minutes in the show when Vampiro was doing an interview with Pentagon Jr. and then Pentagon Jr. basically calling him out because I guess he want to do a sacrifice for his master, whoever that is, and he called Vampiro old ass out. And I'm like, Vampiro's like 47 years old. I'm like, what the hell Ian go do? I don't understand what the hell Ian's gonna get in the ring. Yeah, that's his real name. Ian. Because he said it on there. He said it on the show.
The way that motherfucker be acting, I thought his name was Hector.
God! I was gonna say he's gonna put out this Intervato. The dude's from Canada, but he acts like he's
Thunder
from
Bay.
Yeah, he act like he's from the South.
So nonetheless, that was pretty much Lucha Underground in an eggshell. One more thing to take away from it: one of their wrestlers, Tejano. I'm not gonna say one of their great wrestlers because I just don't believe it.
Fake ass Silver King.
They had Frank's Red Hot dripping from his head, and it looked like Ricky Reyes. Shout out to you, Empire Wrestling. They had him left in a pole of Frank's Red Hot
Blue Demon
on his forehead,
and
Blue Demon beat the shit out of him.
Did the good old heel turn.
Yep.
And fucking had the crew join up with him.
Yep.
So be on the lookout for that.
Because Charlie blew out his fucking what is it? Not his Achilles.
His
tendon.
What
is his tendon?
Yeah, he blew it out. So because that was Chavo's ankle.
Yeah.
You know what I mean. But now they have to turn him.
Yeah, that.
To
because Chavo's out.
Yeah,
he's gonna be out
needs
for a while.
to stay out.
Well, he probably should be out for the rest of his career.
For the rest of his career. I mean, Chavo, man, go find Pepe. But here's my little insight.
Chavo classic.
El Rey, they're my kitchen bitch.
So with that being said, be on the lookout for Lucha Underground news heading up to their big show, Ultimate Lucha, where there's going to be a lot of news and turnouts from that, and we will get it here to you as soon as we can get it. Now moving on, Ring of Honor. There were so many good matches and segments on this show. The first thing I want to say before we even get going on Ring of Honor, Jay Lethal is that guy. He is one hell of a champion. I like the way he carries himself. He is the undisputed Ring of Honor champion, and I got no problem with it. Now moving on, they had another premier match between Watanabe and Dalton Castle. Dalton Castle really totes the line with his edginess and his forwardness on maybe a possible sexual preference situation, but we are not completely sure about that. But what we can be sure about is when he gets in the ring, that boy is gold.
Now, I don't know who he was talking about when he was talking about the boys. He could have been talking about Heavy D and the boys for all I know. I know,
R.I.P. Heavy D.
Yeah, R.I.P. Heavy D. But all I know is Dalton Castle gets it done in the ring. I don't care about whatever he's doing outside the ring or whatever, what kind of, whatever persona they're trying to lead on and whatever, but he's money in the ring. He was doing moves in the ring.
Match.
Yes, it was. And that was another match that was good. 7 minutes, but damn good match. See, this is the difference between Ring of Honor and TNA. And I'm sorry to jump off real quick. TNA, you don't have quality matches. You can have a good 15-minute match in there, but it's not quality. Ring of Honor is showing you quality matches in 7 minutes. 7 minutes. Quality matches. Lucha, 5 minutes. Quality match.
A lot of feelings there as we move forward. One of the main things of Ring of Honor this week was the 6-man tag, which was the Red Dragons versus the Kingdom. And, anytime you can see Maria Kanellis is always a nice thing.
Oh, yeah.
She's on the hit list.
And I got to tell you, that was one thing that I always remember when she was in WWE. She used to get one of the biggest pops that I've ever seen of a female hitting the corner. They used to scream for her like they screamed for Steve Austin.
Her and Stacy Keibler.
Absolutely.
Yeah, the legs with Stacy Keibler.
So it was a great match. It turned out fine. There's a little controversy there with the Red Dragons and the Kingdom. Kingdom holding the IWGP championships. But the Bullet Club, there's a lot going on there, and we will get it to you as soon as we can get it. Now, moving on, the next program of the week was TNA Total Nonstop Action, who happens to share the same network with Ring of Honor Wrestling. It's just Ring of Honor happens to come on first. Now, in TNA, there was a few developments this week, I guess you could say, but the age of Ethan Carter had began. He started the show, in the middle of the show, and into the show. And one of the main things that we can take away from Ethan Carter III, he wrestled Shark Boy this week. He vowed to defend the TNA World Heavyweight Championship 3 times, but he chose 2 Hammond-Eggers and Kurt Angle.
Who's still a Hammond-Egger?
Right. And he wrestled against Kurt Angle, got himself disqualified, whatever the case may be. But I also want to think about, there are certain things in that program that really stood out to me. Number one was the angle between Drew McIntyre and his crew against the Revolution. And, I look at Abyss and all of the history that he has with TNA and all of the main events, and he just looks like a big, wet piece of shit out there.
Man.
And I just think it's time for Abyss to hang it up and perhaps go to the back. They also showcase more of the Jeff Jarrett interview, where Jeff Jarrett is pretty much telling TNA to their face that I'm going to showcase your Legends title. I am the king of the monster, king of the mountain, and I'm going to showcase that on Global Force Wrestling. He brought up a lot of wrestlers who aren't even in the company anymore, being AJ Styles and things like that. So there was a lot of repercussions and fallback from that, but you know, to end the show was Dixie Carter coming out, and Dixie Carter saying that there's going to be someone else in charge. She didn't say who, but she let Ethan Carter know that it wouldn't be him and it wouldn't be her. So a lot of us know already, because they're so fucking pre-taped ahead, that it's going to be Bubba Ray Dudley. You know, aces and eights, yeah, that nigga, he's coming back.
Bully Ray.
Yeah,
Hammer.
and another thing to take away from it too,
Bring the hammer back.
Bring Hammer.
as far as the female action, Madison Rain versus Velvet Sky, whatever match. You know, Velvet Sky went over.
With her badass look.
Yeah, and it just sucks because they used to be such beautiful people.
Yeah.
And now it's whatever.
Yeah.
So that was pretty much TNA in a nutshell. We'll go ahead and move on to the next show, which was WWE SmackDown. There were a lot of developments, basically continue the storylines, because you know, SmackDown being the last show on TV before the pay-per-view, they tried to take it up to another level. But this is the one gripe I got about that show, and I'm going to tell you this. Big E Lynch and Titus O'Neil one-on-one, they had a really good match setting up for the New Day versus the Primetime Players. They only gave them 5 to 6 minutes, and they maximized it, and they did the best they could with it, and I didn't have a problem with it. Also on the show, also on the card, SmackDown. Roman Reigns was in his match involved. They let Bray Wyatt come out and give him Sister Abigail.
You've been
Now,
getting a lot of him lately.
I really don't think that they should have had contact like that, but nonetheless, they had contact.
Brief contact.
Now,
They've been doing that.
here's the beef that I got with SmackDown. You had a bona fide main event, the Intercontinental Heavyweight Championship against the World Heavyweight Championship. Seth Rollins versus Ryback. This is the perfect time for Seth Rollins to display his dominance over what is supposed to be the second highest champion in the company. Ryback, I'm going to give you some credit. You look very good out there. You did very good. You happened to manage your spots, manage how you work. You didn't look bad at all in that match. I'll give you that. Now, WWE, this is on you. Why is your undisputed World Heavyweight WWE Champion running from the Intercontinental Champion? He is second best. There is no reason why Seth Rollins could have went in there, handled that match, handled Ryback, and then called out Brock Lesnar at the end of the night. But that is not what happened. What happened was Ryback was schooling him pretty much most of the match. Seth Rollins got his moves in here and there, and he decided to take a DQ, making it look like he's running from the Intercontinental Champion. I don't like that shit, guys. I really don't like that shit. Now, of course, at the end of the night, they made it right. Your Big Show comes out. You know, they all jump on Ryback, and then Roman Reigns has to come out and really make it right and end the show like that. But, you know, this has been a problem for far too long, and I'm tired of ignoring it. It's time to address it. Seth Rollins, they are not allowing him to look like the undisputed WWE World Heavyweight Champion that he should be. Why is he running from Ryback?
Yeah, I mean, I agree with you there. You know, I'm one of the biggest Seth Rollins supporters up here. You know that. But running is not, you know, that's not making your champion look any better. You know what I mean? But that's what they're writing in the storylines. But here's the devil's advocate to what the running situation was. I said it earlier when we were talking about the whole setup for the world title. It's luring cats in. It's letting you in for the big swerve. Everybody's thinking because Brock Lesnar is this beast that he's so powerful. Seth Rollins ran from Ryback, this, that, and this. Seth Rollins is going to get destroyed. Seth Rollins is going over on him. Seth Rollins is going to lose that title within the next couple months, but it ain't going to be the Brock Lesnar. It's probably going to be the Roman Reigns. Because what it's looking like is Roman Reigns is going to go over on Bray Wyatt. He might go over again on Bray Wyatt at SummerSlam, whatever the case may be. How
I can see that. I can see that.
How they work, because they're building. Why do you think they most likely took when they gave, and here's the kicker, when they gave Ambrose
Bo Dallas.
No, when they gave Ambrose, no, fucking Bo Dallas. When they gave Ambrose Roman Reigns' title spot a couple months ago. You know what I'm saying? Here's the kicker. Why do you have Roman Reigns and Seth Rollins there when if you build Roman Reigns up more by putting him in a war with Bray Wyatt, you have Seth Rollins make his title reign legitimate by going over on the Beast. Not saying he's going over at Battleground. That's going to be extended into SummerSlam, I bet. He's going to eventually go over on him. And it just sets it up. It's a screwball effect. Roman Reigns most likely going to take the title from Seth Rollins. It ain't going to be Brock Lesnar. And it ain't going to be a Battleground. It ain't going to be a SummerSlam. Roman Reigns is somewhere down the Survivor Series or whatever the case may be. He will be the champion. You know what I'm saying? So I see it going that way. They're lawing everybody in. Everybody think this beast is going to come in here and destroy this dude. And they're going to solidify Seth Rollins as being the guy. You know what I mean? Right now. In that match. You know what I mean? With him and Lesnar. Now, I don't like it. I don't like the running. I don't like making him look like, come on, right back. Ryder did good in the match. You know what I mean? From what I heard, he did real good in the match. That's something I did not get to see because I had other obligations to handle, you know, so I didn't get to watch that. But at the same time, from what I read and heard from you guys, that Ryback did pretty damn good. Well, now, here's my drawback to some of that on SmackDown before I pass it over to Randy. One, yes, Titus O'Neil looked good against, this is my opinion, just my opinion. Titus O'Neil looked good against, he's been looking good over the last couple months anyway. But Titus O'Neil, Big E, yeah, they look good. But two, if the WWE is smart, they put the titles back on the New Day. I personally feel that it's not believable for me as the primetime players as champions. I'm just going to leave that as that. You know what I mean? Two, Rusev ain't been in the shit house. He ain't going to the shit house. They have big plans for Rusev. That's why they kept him around. We all should know this because we're all wrestling fans. We've seen them do this in the past. The guys that they want in the future, that they have big plans for, when they get injured, they keep them around, doing something to keep them on TV. They don't just sing it, go home. You know what I mean? Go home and get ready. Go home and get well. You know, they kept Rusev around in his whole ankle injury or whatnot. That's showing to me at that time. That's why I knew he wasn't going to the shit house. And, you know, we get caught up on him losing 3 matches consecutively. But he lost to John Cena. He didn't lose to Heath Slater 3 matches. He didn't lose to Zack Ryder 3 matches. He didn't lose to Fandango 3 matches. You know, he lost to John Cena. They got big plans for Rusev. He has not gone to the shit house, which is one of my favorite words that Randy's obviously came up with. But that fucking word is the best word I've heard in 15 years. The shit house. You know what I'm saying? The shit house. But I'm going to pass that on. But that's just my opinion and how I needed to get out about, for one, the primetime players. I don't believe them as tag team champions. I think it's devaluing the tag team titles. I believe the best thing the WWE can do is put the titles back on the New Day at the pay-per-view because they have the heat. They have the heat. They are the top. And like you say, they are the top heel tag team champions right now. They are the top heel tag team in the WWE. Keep the titles on them. The primetime players they keep the titles on the primetime players. In my opinion, is going to devalue the titles.
The bottom line is this, and I'm gonna be honest with you.
Golly.
The bottom line is this, and I'm gonna be honest with you. I'm kind of on the opposite side of the fence with the primetime players thing, but we will sit there and develop. We'll see how that situation develops. Now, before we move on, Randy.
Hold on, Trigger.
Before we move on, Randy, I want to get your insight on that main event situation with Seth Rollins because you've been on to a certain degree of critique as far as Seth Rollins goes, and me watching SmackDown kind of validated a lot of what you said. So I need you to give us more insight leading into the pay-per-view. What the fuck is going on with Seth Rollins?
See, to me, like I've been saying from jump, see, this is how I look at it. This is how I look at it from jump. For you to pull that major move that you did at WrestleMania.
We're closed on the set. What are you doing?
For you to pull that major move on the fucking at WrestleMania. You know, you have to sit there and fucking think about it. It's like this, Jack. You give him the title, you take the title away from Brock Lesnar or Roman Reigns, right? And then, after that, you sit there and give it to him, and then you have him running around like a little bitch for his whole fucking title reign, which he has. I mean, granted, you give him a match here and there and here and there, but I mean, they done totally diminished the title reign. And it's like when you sit back and you think about this title reign, you put this shit in a vacuum. Whenever he loses it, you gonna be sitting there like, oh, his title reign. You can't say it was like, oh man, fucking Seth Rollins was tearing down the house, every goddamn shit. You know, okay, he had a good match with fucking what's his name, Ambrose, right?
He had a good match in a 4-way too.
You know, I mean, but it's 4 people in there.
I mean, but it still was a good match. You
I mean,
can't hold that against him.
What I'm saying is I can hold it against I don't feel like, to me, and this is how I look at championships. you have to elevate the title. The title's not getting elevated. Now, coming to his fucking point where he always talk about Brock Lesnar elevated the title, I have to give him credit for that.
Get him out of here. I'm sorry to cut you off, Randy. Sometimes fans get a little carried away with themselves and they want to try to enter in on our set. We love you guys, but you gotta let the professionals do their job. You sit over there and you applaud us, but you don't get involved in the show. I apologize for that.
Get back, Jack.
Now, what were you saying, Randy?
Yeah, but what I'm saying is when you're a champion, you have to elevate the title. You know, and then you elevate the title, then the title will elevate you. That's what I'm saying.
That's very correct.
And fucking Seth Rollins is not doing it. He's not getting it done like that. I mean, in the ring, yeah, but I mean, for a heel, you know, you got to be a badass heel. And I was talking to this guy, fucking, what was that, last night? And we sitting there talking about, and I have to say, I'm like, man, I said, Seth Rollins' reign can't even wipe the Miz's reign's ass.
Oh, come on.
No, that's real shit. That's real shit. You gotta, when you sit there and think about it, Jack, when you be objective about it.
I'm being objective, but that's
he
going
sit there.
too far.
I'm not going too far.
That's going too far.
The Miz, the bullshit.
He shouldn't even been champion.
Bullshit. Miz elevated that fucking title. He elevated that title.
He went on some. I'm not going. But since he went on some TV shows.
No, it wasn't even just with that. The whole heel factor that he was. Rollins don't have that. He looked like he should be a face. That's why I get like he should be a face. The whole heel thing. The whole heel thing, I don't get that from him. And then going on another point real quick and try to wrap this puppy up a little bit with the Rusev shit. I say Rusev went to the shit house because you had him lose these matches consecutively. Not only consecutively, you had John Cena dog walk him in a couple of them.
He lost to John Cena.
You know, hey, did they let John? Did they in the loss with fucking Kevin Owens? Did John Cena dog walk Kevin Owens? No, it was a close fucking match where they going back and forth.
He's got a valid point there.
You know, they let him go in there dog walk him, and then what they systematically did, they took his bitch from him. First they took the title. They took the title and Undisputed Streak. Then they took his bitch from him, which was unnecessary. You did not have to give her to Dolph Ziggler. That was an unnecessary fucking move. Then you replaced her with Summer Rae, who's not fit to be. He needed a badass bitch. He would have did better having Alicia Fox.
She's not good with Rusev at all, man.
That's what I'm saying. They systematically took that dude down. Systematically. And for him, and then he was supposed to be this badass Bulgarian motherfucker. And then you got him acting like a fucking stalker, hiding around corners, taking pictures, stalking Lana. It's like they totally devalued his character. And then the third thing, get to the primetime players. The primetime players didn't deserve having them fucking titles. They supposed to have them shit years ago.
Deserving it. Let's see here.
And they've been putting in the work. They put in the work. Other than Darren Young blowing out his fucking knee, what was that, like a year ago? He's putting in the fucking work. They've been putting in the fucking work. You have to legitimize them titles. You have to get them off. You can't keep them on the same people. You got to get them around. You got to give everybody a fucking turn.
And there's a lot of mixed emotions about the tag team titles, as you would say.
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, I don't know. I mean,
you know, some of us believe in the primetime players, and some of us don't.
I don't.
And only
because
time will tell.
It's like this. I don't care what they deserved or when they got it. They got it and they haven't done shit with it. You know, that's plain out and simple. Nobody even knows that they're the tag team champions. You know what I mean? Why? Because nobody cares. You know what I mean? And to go back to Seth Rollins, I don't understand it. He's had great matches on Raw. You know what I mean? Him and Ambrose, that match on Raw that they had was fucking outstanding. And the pay-per-view match was great. He's then had great matches not only just on Raw, but at the pay-per-views too. So what more do you want from him? They put him in the ring with Randy Orton, and he made that match look like it was okay. When Randy Orton wasn't doing shit in the whole match. That's just my thing. You know what I mean? I don't understand how his title reign is a failure and this, that, and this, but the primetime players who really looks awful, you know what I mean, with holding the titles, their title reign is not a failure. You know what I mean? I don't get that. I don't get that.
So there's a lot of... It's like that question I asked you. You have to sit there and think about it. As Seth Rollins as champion, has he elevated the title?
Yes, he has. I feel he has.
No.
I feel he has.
No,
there's a lot of... But there's a
red stop sign.
No, it's not.
Well, gentlemen, there's a lot of mixed emotions about the World Heavyweight
What do you
Championship
think?
picture
We ain't heard your
and the tag team
opinion.
picture.
What do you think?
You know, I remain reserved in my opinions on
Right
that
now. Just give me
because
your- just give me your opinion
the
right
bottom
now.
line is this.
Right
I think that Seth Rollins is a good champion, and I think that Seth Rollins is doing everything that the WWE is telling him to do, and he is working it all the way through.
But-
Now, what I don't like is how they book him to make him look weak. I had no interest in seeing my WWE World Heavyweight Champion running away from Ryback, but I'm not going to hold that against Seth Rollins.
running.
Hold on,
gentlemen. Hold on, gentlemen.
And Ryback, he hasn't ran from nobody else.
Yeah.
Hold on, gentlemen. Hold on.
He beat Ambrose.
He ran from
The
Orton.
one
He
thing,
beat Orton.
the one
he
thing
ran
I will
from-
say from this, we and everyone else out there will see how it looks against Brock Lesnar this Sunday. Now, moving on.
One thing, and I ain't gonna argue about it. I'm just gonna say this: we're gonna see when somebody else gets the title, and we're gonna see if it's that objective for that guy. That's all I'm saying. You know what I mean? That's all I'm saying.
moving on.
If Roman Reigns gets the title, that's what you're saying?
And that's
Yeah,
all
we'll
I'm
see.
saying.
And moving
It's
on.
not gonna be. It's gonna be something totally different.
I'll be objective.
And,
No, you're not.
and moving on, we're gonna move on to Global Force Wrestling.
Go to GW.
Where
GFW.
they have started their tapings, and they have started their live events.
Yeah, they started a live
They started their live event shows,
Yeah.
and the main thing that I can bring out from that, Eric Young somehow, some way, got that King of the Mountain title from TNA. He got it from their show, and he's bringing it back to Dixie. So whatever the
In my
case,
opinion, only Global Force is trash. I didn't see some of
Damn.
that. Yeah, fuck that. I'm gonna keep it real. Global, I said this in a comment on Facebook or whatever the fuck about after the show last week that I wasn't on, and I put in on comment on there that I'm gonna start just saying things that need to be said. Global Force Wrestling is trash. You know what I mean? They don't have a consistent roster. We're talking about what they're gonna do and what this and when they get the TV deal and when they get this. I've seen some of their live shows. Chris Masters, you know what I mean? Chris Masters gets Dumb Duck Dewey in your main event. Man, that's fucking bullshit. You know what I mean? Eric Young coming back with that fucking television bullshit ass television legends title, whatever the fuck, King of the Mountain now. And in the way they don't, Global Force doesn't even know if they want to go in the square circle or go in a lime green octagon. You know what I mean? To me, it's bullshit. Until I see some hard results from Global Force and Jeff Jarrett and those boys down there, your company is full of fucking shit. It's TNA 2.0, which is a bunch of fucking bullshit.
But one of the main
But
one of the main things that you gotta realize is, and we took this from Jeff Jarrett on TNA programming, he wants the Global Force promotion to showcase wrestlers from all countries, all different companies. So he's not gonna have a consistent roster. He's gonna be bringing in wrestlers from Ring of Honor, New Japan. He ain't probably not gonna touch any WWE guys. But he wants to bring in all these different wrestlers all the time and mix them up. No, Chris Masters should not be no main event. But at the same time,
and just that Dewey motherfucker, he wasn't even fighting nobody worth credible. But he's in the main event with this guy. That is a dark match on TNA. You know what I mean? But that was their main event. Man, I don't want to care about what they're gonna do or what he says they're gonna do or what they could do. Do it. You've been having this thing in the work for years. Get it done. And you gotta have consistent talent on your roster. That's the only way you're gonna build your fucking company. You can't just have Tom Dick from over here. You can't have Hushinama Katati from over here. You can't have Pedro from over here. You can't have Samson from England over here and keep mixing them up. And then nobody's gonna be able to follow anybody because you keep switching them out of there. And that's not gonna make your promotion any better. So he can have other guys and make it a global wrestling organization. Because I heard that interview, I watched it. He wanted to make it more global with all the global stars and whatnot. Yes, you can do that, but you gotta have a consistent roster. And what you don't have is a consistent roster right now. And you're getting closer and closer to your live events. You're doing live events. And that shit was trash. That goddamn baseball field, that damn ring, it was no Global Force signing. It was nothing. It was bullshit. It was second rate. It was second rate. It was backyard. It was Insane Clown Posse wearing green nails. You know what I mean? mean shit.
Hey,
And with that being said,
the other kitchen bitch is that one. You sure that's not your?
Nah. El Rey's the kitchen bitch.
And with that being said, there are a lot of emotions about Global Force Wrestling.
Trash.
We will move on to the news and notes section, Mr. Randy. Go ahead and give us the news and notes because it is a little hot and heavy, but I can't discredit what's being said.
You know what I mean?
That was a pre-kitchen
I'm sorry, man.
Go ahead.
Sorry. He's piggybacking off of TNA.
And go ahead.
That needs to be said.
And go-
He talks all this shit about TNA, and he's piggybacking off them. You know what I mean? Get out of here, Jeff. You know what I mean?
Go ahead and slide us those news and notes, Maestro.
Who's Hulk Hogan? You ain't nowhere near Hulk Hogan. Get the fuck out of here.
King of the mountain. The motherfucker was the king of his own mountain.
Yeah, for real.
Of course you're gonna be the king of the
Constantly
mountain.
putting yourself over.
You founded the company.
Yeah, shit. You don't deserve
I've
shit.
been saying that shit for years.
He thought he was Hulk Hogan in WCW and then found out he wasn't. And that's when the ratings started really going down.
Yeah.
Oh man. Okay.
Needs to be said.
You right?
All right. Beginning of the week, Stone Cold was named the cover boy of the 2016 WWE 2K.
And let me tell you something about that too. Let me tell you something about that. No. It's nothing negative. I really like how they showcased him. They had him out there digging up the smoking skull belt and bringing that shit back to life. I thought that was one of the greatest fucking. I gotta tell you, I ain't seen a video game come out. I'm thinking about buying it just for the goddamn commercial.
You don't like it.
You
And I don't care for 2K Sports
You
Wrestling.
didn't like the Ultimate Warrior one?
It was okay.
What about
when he
the Sting
came
one last year?
when he came breaking through the hallway and shit with the little buzz cut, died after eating a T-bone steak. R.I.P. Warrior.
What about Sting one last year?
Sting was alright, but I really liked it that Stone Cold digging up the smoking skull belt because he did a lot of shit with that belt back in the day.
Yeah,
so
right.
I'm good with that. What else you got?
Okay. Fucking Austin Aries and Ring of Honor came to a little short-term deal for him to perform at Ring of Honor.
And let me tell you something about that, folks. I will be on vacation next week, so these gentlemen will hold the reins. I know Russellhead is in a good place. I know it's in good hands. I am only here to help accentuate the talents of Amar Scott and Randy Dixon. I'm going to be up there for Austin Aries' debut at Ring of Honor. And I'm going to, if I can get a ticket in the house, there will be footage on our Facebook page of me taking video of it, and we'll see how good Austin Aries really is. Because from what we saw on their programming and their taping, if you're going to go against a goddamn Dalton Castle guy, TNA may not have got you ready. So I will be definitely interested in seeing that. I know he's the man.
Don't play him for cheap.
No, I'm not going to play him for cheap.
This dude's putting on 5-star matches with Daniel Bryan before
I'm
Dalton Castle
not
wiped his ass.
going to play him
Former
for
Ring
cheap.
of Honor World Champion.
Yep.
Yeah,
TNA World
I'm not
Champion.
going to play him for cheap. But when you wrestling against Bram, that shit ain't getting you ready for Dalton Castle.
God damn.
What else you got, fella?
Yeah, goddamn. Okay, it looked like fucking Gunner been training at the WWE Performance Center. Is the question, has Gunner signed with the WWE?
That's a good question.
If
That's a
he's
good
there,
question.
he has to.
I mean, that's a good
They're
question.
not gonna. You think they're gonna let?
They're not gonna let no
motherfuckers
independent guy
Yeah.
wrestle out
Hey,
there.
I'm gonna come over here and train. You guys good with
You
that?
never know, he
Get
might
the
know
fuck
somebody.
outta
The
here.
motherfucker
Oh,
gotta
you're
get off
right.
the juice.
He's
That's
right.
one thing you
And
gotta
plus,
do.
and plus you gotta remember, at the end of the day, Gunner's a fucking vet.
Yep.
So he can slide. He can slide that being a vet shit in there.
Yeah, but he gotta get off. He gotta get off the juice before he do anything else.
Oh Jesus Christ!
You know that motherfucker's juicing.
Dean Ambrose will start the next 12 rounds movie part 3. Let's see.
And while we're talking about movies, shout out to Alicia Fox getting a spot on Dominion on Sci-Fi.
She only had a bit part. I haven't seen the second episode.
But I gotta tell you, man, I'm happy to see that she's actually getting a shot out there. You know, I like Alicia Fox. I thought she was a great diva, a good wrestler.
She's a good diva
You know,
champion, which she had.
and yeah,
the dude just looked at her though. That's all that happened. I watched it.
And she gets pushed over a lot, but I'm glad to see that she's
Now
reaching
she-
out
now
to
she
new
the
horizons.
Flunky now.
Yeah.
basically.
Okay, next. Stone Cold Steve Austin says he's not coming back to WrestleMania 32 in the match he's done, even though it's in his home state of Texas and it's going to be star-studded. That's why I think he's coming back to it. Just because he's trying to throw that misdirection.
Trying to throw the fillers out there.
Yeah.
Yeah, but I don't know, man. Like, with the fucked up neck and everything, you really gotta think about that shit. And he up there in age, nigga, if you get hit by a car again by Rikishi, this time you may not walk away from it.
I did it for the Rock.
That's right. And the seat modifications are set for a large man.
Oh, God. What else happened? Fucking WWE Hall of Famer Scott Hall no-show to an event in Dallas, Texas.
Yeah, he's starting to call off more than the Ultimate Warrior in the early 90s. The hell's going on
At
with
least he ain't
him?
holding Vince up for $1 million
Man.
rent.
Let's see what else. It's starting to look like it'll probably be the Bellas versus Lita and Trish. You know, Team Bella versus Team Bestie at WrestleMania 32, because you know they're gonna pull out all the stops, and those are two of the most beloved divas.
Divas, yeah.
So
Okay.
you gotta sit there and think about that. Let's see. Hold on, my little thing jumped up a little bit. Oh yeah, you had Ring of Honor, TNA Impact Wrestling was shown in 435,000 houses, and Ring of Honor was in 262,000 houses. You know, see, to me, that's not enough.
No.
I wanted TNA to be dog walking their ass.
Yeah, they gotta be beaten
Yeah,
by
because
their margin.
It keep landing in this 100,000 crap.
Well, the good
Which
thing,
is not.
the good thing is at least they're at least 200,000 above. I mean, they're not gonna get to 1 million viewers. When I saw fucking Drew McIntyre drop kick that guy into Abyss, and Abyss fell over like he wasn't even a TNA legend. You're not gonna get that many viewers for no horse shit like that, okay?
We've got quality matches.
Yeah, and I hate that, because Ethan Carter III is a legit champion, but don't come out on the first night of your title reign going to get a Shark Boy. That's
Danny Davis selling Ohio Valley.
Yeah, let's get to that.
Oh, sorry.
Talk to me, man. What else?
Sorry
is
about
going
that. My
on?
bad. My bad, man. My bad.
I have one job on here.
It just popped in
Okay.
my head. Sorry. I'm sorry, man. It just popped in my head. I saw. Hey, go to Wrestling Heads, because that's popped in my head. I was on Wrestling Heads all day. I saw Danny Davis selling the Ohio
Former
Valley.
3-time Divas champion Eva Torres Gracie had her daughter this week.
Okay.
Oh, congratulations to her.
I was a fine diva. Let's see. What else is going on? 5-star match. Brock Lesnar kicking somebody else's ass. You know. Oh yeah, you have to say this in history. 19 years ago, Hulk Hogan and Kevin Nash and Scott Hall started beginning to form the NWO this past week.
Bash of the Beach 96.
And speaking of that, Danny Davis is selling Ohio Valley Wrestler to some private investors. And Vince McMahon, another thing, Vince McMahon has banned the word backbreaker, so you will not hear that. I didn't have it, but they have a long list of shit that Vince McMahon tell the announcers what they can't say.
Right, I saw that
list.
list. If you go on Russellheads on Facebook, you'll see the list. I didn't realize how much they were kneecapped on that damn thing. When
They kneecapped them a lot.
There's a lot that they really can't say. Now, I want to know what the hell is wrong with backbreaker.
I don't know.
It's a professional wrestling move.
But see, you know,
But there's people suing the
but see,
WWE
but
over
see,
shit
they
like
don't
that.
call them professional wrestlers; they call them superstars.
That's right. It's all
Okay,
fucked
what else?
up.
What's that? Global Force versus TNA Impact Wrestling. The war probably will begin July 22nd episode of TNA Impact Wrestling, and then it will be live on Global Force. They probably had a retaliation on their first TV episode, the 24th of July. Let's see, this week Kurt Angle had successful surgery. Good for Kurt. You know, let's see what else. Of course, Sasha Banks and Charlotte's getting called up to the main roster. We breezed on that. Oh yeah, one of the big things this week, WWE Hall of Famer Nature Boy Ric Flair brought up on his podcast, Woo Nation, that the WWE has fired Roddy Piper from his Legends contract because he has an ongoing issue with Stone Cold Steve Austin. Because a joke that was said on the Piper podcast with the guy from Mad TV, Will Sasso, he did a Stone Cold impersonation.
We touched on it a little bit last week, yeah.
Yeah, but it's ongoing. It's continuing.
Why are they firing him for that?
Stone Cold's the man right now.
They took food off of Roddy Piper's table.
You gotta realize Stone Cold he's a hot Piper ain't that nigga. I'm sorry to say that, but it's the truth.
What else you got?
Me lately.
You know what shit? It's more than that, but you know. Let's see. You see Rusev premiere the shoes this week. Batista and Samoa Joe been training together.
So Batista's starting to come back.
It's a possibility.
Man, he need to keep his
He ain't gonna be
bum
working out with
ass
Samoa
somewhere
Joe
else.
for nothing. I mean,
He need to keep his bum ass somewhere else too. And
That's
that's
the
another one. I don't give a fuck if it's the animal, if it was a damn warthog, whatever the fuck. I don't care, man. He's a piece of shit too. You don't
On
know
the
if he's
WrestleHeads page,
you know what?
we got a shot of fucking Brock Lesnar throwing the car door to a fan. And I guess it hit the fan, and they gave the fan a gang of free merch.
is that how they paid him off?
Yeah.
But with the With the what you ain't coming out to the fan?
With the free merch. Giving them free merch.
That's how you get somebody free.
Yeah. And let's see. Stardust, aka Cody Rhodes, was backstage Monday for Raw, but they don't want to turn him a face yet. And the WWE figured that the crowd won't boo him because of his father passing away. They need to put Cody Rhodes back. See, this is the time where you can strike because of that, and you bring him back as Cody Rhodes, and you give him a major push.
I agree with you there. That will be bigger than anything. Get that Stardust shit out the way.
I agree. He shouldn't be doing that shit no more anyway.
And I mean, Goldie's gone too, so I mean, I figure. Next thing, Jeff Jarrett and Toby Keith makes a deal, probably for Toby Keith to finance Global Force Wrestling. Toby Keith got deep pockets.
Financing a bunch of shit.
And yeah, I mean, it's probably gonna get better with the.
It may. I mean, I wasn't saying it wasn't, but I mean, for right now, shit.
And then the other thing, the Swiss Superman Cesaro is getting a push because John Cena and Triple H being pushed. Vince McMahon, they pushing Vince McMahon, and it looks like finally Vince McMahon is starting to come around. And the top WWE officials has been stuck to the TV screens when Cesaro has been in the ring, and it's about damn good time.
For real.
Next thing, Big Johnny, not Big Mash John, Big John Laurinaitis was the producer and agent who booked the show, The Beast in the East. And you gotta give John Laurinaitis credit. He gets a lot of shit, over the years. But that was him. That was his idea. It was his idea with the women with the kimonos and stuff coming in.
Well, him in Japan, I mean, that's where he made his bones as a pro wrestler in All Japan Pro Wrestling. I mean, he's no stranger to the land of the rising sun. It was the logical choice for WWE to book a show to do it under the insight of that of John Laurinaitis.
Let's see. Lucha Underground officials have been telling talent that's signed up for the second season probably will start in September, but sometime in September they tell them to keep their dates open right now, and there's no plans to turn the TV show into a promotion because everybody knows technically it's a TV
part
show.
of AAA.
Yeah, it's a TV show. It's not a promotion. This week, Global Force Wrestling came out and they gave you the name of what their TV show is going to be called. It's going to be called GFW Amped. That would be the name of the Global Force Wrestling.
So I guess they bought out the name from Mountain Dew's energy drink.
Yeah, but looks like they have the same colors.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. Also was announced this week at WWE Nxt Brooklyn Takeover, which will be on the 21st, I believe, of August.
It's going to be the Saturday
before
SummerSlam.
SummerSlam.
Yeah.
At the Barclays Center.
That's going to be great.
It's going to be the main event. It's going to be the rematch. WWE Nxt champion Finn Balor will be going against former champion Kevin Owens.
Legit. Which at that time may be the United States champion.
Kevin Owens. Yeah. I think it will be.
And then it was also announced this week. This will be the return match of Austin Aries to Ring of Honor. It will be the Aftershock Tour, the main event, where you have Austin Aries. It looked like Moose, the champ, the one the Briscoes,
Jay Briscoe,
Dalton Castle, and what's that one of the dudes from Red Dragon?
That's the number one contender for the world title.
The guy looks like Ryan Reynolds.
Yeah.
Next, HBO has ordered a second season of The Rock's TV show Ballers, which is a good show. I have to give The Rock credit for that. That's a pretty damn good show. Congratulations to Kevin Owens for being on the cover of PWI.
Yeah.
Legit.
Yeah, but see, I got a problem with PWI, but I'm gonna save that for another show. No, it just they I don't understand it. They have these magazines that come out, like I got the new one that came out for August, but they're talking about stuff back in March. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
they're well behind, but they never used to be like that. You know what I mean? But
wrestling is now that wrestling is starting to get that jump start that it used to have.
Yeah.
Dave Meltzer can take some of his attention off of MMA and bring it back to pro wrestling because that's what he did. He had to do whatever he had to do to keep his business going, and he started doing a lot of work in MMA when wrestling started to fade.
Yeah.
But now that wrestling is back on this upswing, as if this was a stock market, WWE and professional wrestling is starting to hit the margin again. I think the PWIs are starting to get more recent and more accurate. What else you got, Randy?
Some WWE history was made this week. Sheamus became the first WWE superstar to notch 200 single TV victories.
Well, we know why that's going on.
I'm just gonna be quiet.
What else you got?
Let's see. Lucha Underground producer appeared on the Steve Austin Unleashed podcast and said Lucha Underground and the El Rey network was a little bit at a standstill because of the money, the promotion, because the money of the promotion was it was the same amount. They're trying to get the same amount they got last year, and it looked like El Rey's trying to cut them down a little bit.
Trying to undercut them.
You know, but the El Rey network want at least 40 episodes, and the season starting in October.
And the thing is, I'm gonna save it for my kitchen bitch. Go ahead. Yeah, that's why it's my
Is that
kitchen
it for
bitch.
news and notes there,
Let's
Randy?
see. We rounded it up, and then Paige, WWE Diva Paige, took the fucking Twitter to take a shot at Eva Marie.
Oh man.
You know, and she said, and I quote, she was basically mocking Eva Marie. You know, I'm not getting it. After 6 days, it's kind of weird when you had 2 years to try it, you didn't bother, and now you have the passion of wrestler. You can say shots fired. Let's see. Former WWE and WCW World Champion Bill Goldberg was asked about a potential return to the ring, and this is what he had to say. I don't know if my fight is for glory, but that is when you see me in the ring again. It's widely known that the WWE and Bill Goldberg, he said, him and the WWE do not like each other. If there are any other promotions out there, wise to have the ability to bring me in, I like to do it one more time. There's no foreskin off. There's no skin off my foreskin by any stretch. You know, that dude's gonna be my kitchen bitch. I just decided, you know, because I'm tired of hearing from his monkey mouth ass. Sabu has been told by his doctors to retire. He has 2 broken bones in his shoulder. Instead of going to get it fixed, he got on a plane and went on tour to England.
Just can't give it up. Like, man, damn. He is like that old porno star that's been in all the movies when you were young, and then as you're grown in your 20s and 30s, he's still trying to get in the movies. Like, man, God, man, put away and put it up. You know what I mean? Same thing with Sabu. Give it up, bro. You know what I mean? Really, give it up. You know what I mean? He gonna die. I'm sorry.
Next thing, TNA Impact still haven't paid their production crew for the May tapings. Is an eternal feeling that they will be paid after July 15th as promised, but because they are scared that the production crew will walk out by the time the July 22nd tapings start. Let's see. TNA World Champion Ethan Carter III compared his career to Hall of Famer Stone Cold Steve Austin. Steve Austin getting fired from WCW when he was injured by FedEx, and most likely talking up when he got fired by the WWE. He basically brought up the same thing when the WWE fired him.
Mm-hmm.
You know, he felt like he gonna shove it up their ass.
Can I say something?
Yeah, go ahead.
Ethan Carter need to shut the fuck up. I like Ethan Carter III, but you ain't no fucking Stone Cold, man. Shut the fuck up, man. You know, wait for a while. Let's see where you go with this title reign. You know, because it could end up in a bunch of horse shit. You know what I mean? And then you'll be like the guy that said he was just like Stone Cold, but really he was like Adam Bomb. I don't know. I'm just saying.
And I got one more side story I want to bring up that I found it was funny. Cause I read up on it yesterday. It was a story about Stone Cold and Jeff Jarrett. And Vince Russo recalled a story.
Russo still.
Oh boy.
Yeah, and that's another motherfucker ever shut up.
God.
Former WWE writer Vince Russo published a new blog on whatever he published on. He recalled the night that Steve Austin almost killed Jeff Jarrett off backstage. And then insert. In the years that I worked with Stone Cold, I actually witnessed him lose his temper twice. And unfortunately, I was on the other end of one of them near fatal ass whoopings. But I'll get to that in a minute. In order to lay out that near-death experience, I need to set up the story that happened prior. It was well documented that Jeff Jarrett was one of my good friends in the business. Even though he won't give me the right time of day now. But that's another story for another time. But anyway, I was instrumental in bringing Jeff Jarrett back to the WWE after he had left and gone down to WCW. The day of his return, I wrote an in-ring promo for Jeff. As I wrote all his in-ring promos, because Jeff was one of them guys that he liked you to write his promos for him. After giving him his words, Jeff read through the promo and came back to me. Upon his return, everything was good, but I wanted to add this one little thing. During his promo, he was just going to add the part about Austin 3:16, use of it, and how blasphemous Jeff felt the phrase was. And he was going to accuse Steve of using the Bible as a reference as a tool to strictly make money. Now, keep in mind, I had no idea of the backstory and the history between Steve and Jeff's father, Jerry Jarrett, when Steve was a rookie making his way through the USWA territories in Memphis. I will find out later through Steve, but anyway, getting back to the story, Jeff went out and cut his promo, adding 316 thoughts, and Steve was on the other side of the curtain waiting for him to come back. Steve was freaking furious. I mean, his bald head was blood red. As soon as Jeff came back, Steve was verbally all over him and held nothing back. He told Jeff that he was messing with his livelihood. He didn't appreciate that. Jeff was backpedaling like I'd never seen anyone backpedal before or since. It was literally the heels backing off the baby. But this was not scripted. After the explosive tongue lashing, Steve tracked me down and he gave me clear instructions to never book me with that son of a bitch. Steve then went on to tell me that even though it was a 316 promo that set him off, but that his history with the Jarretts went back when his boss Jerry Jarrett paid him so little money and he had to live on boiled potatoes when he was under him in Memphis. Yeah, so now, fast forward 6 months, things had cooled off, almost forgotten. Thinking that Steve was over it, I made the mistake of trying to book him in an angle with Jeff. When we arrived to the TV, Steve pulled me in the room, read me the riot act, cited everything he told me verbatim 6 months prior. And Steve had not forgot one word of our conversation. Not one. After apologizing, he was right because I was wrong. I changed the show on the spot to order to meet Steve's needs. Man, I look back on to this day, I have all the respect in the world for Steve Austin. Again, it just goes back being that blue collar guy. If I had a problem with you, he would tell you man to man, face to face. There was no political maneuvering, no behind your back bullshit. Just Steve, live and dangerous, in your face, delivering you the bottom line as Stone Cold could say so. And that's the end of news and notes.
What a nice story.
That was nice, man. For real, and that was funny as shit. He was about to whoop Jeff Jarrett's ass. You know what I mean? About to beat the dog shit out of him. He had to eat boiled potatoes back in Memphis, Tennessee. I was wondering, was Jerry Lawler getting felt boiled potatoes because he was wrestling like a fucking boiled potato? No. And that's another story.
Jerry Lawler been the king for you.
Oh yeah, I know.
But you know, the craziest thing about that, you know, Jeff was out of line, but honestly,
he was right.
You do got to be careful when you play with that Bible.
Yeah, and Steve was. He used it, you know, for his own game. You know?
It all started off to Jake.
Yep.
So Jake was dropping them Bible quotes.
Yep.
Drinking that Jack Daniels.
Smoking that crack.
Jesus Christ.
For real.
So with that being said, we are now to the Kitchen Bitch segment of the show.
Let's get it rolling.
We get the gripes out. And, you know, simply my Kitchen Bitch is very basic this week. I just don't like the way WWE is showcasing Seth Rollins. In a match against Ryback, your Intercontinental Heavyweight Champion, the main guy in the company, the WWE World Heavyweight Champion, you started off good by having him come out by himself, but he should not lose a match by countout because he's too fucking afraid to get back in the goddamn ring.
Like a bitch.
I don't like that, and you're gonna fuck that guy's future up with that. So you better make him look better than that against Brock Lesnar, though I don't know how.
The title reign, man.
But that's all I got to say about my Kitchen Bitch this week. WWE, you need to treat your champion better.
Yeah. You know, that was a great one. He's going to beat Brock Lesnar, just add on to that. Yeah. Look, man, I've been saying it all day. I actually said it before the show, and I had water still left in there. But, El Rey, you piece of shit. And I'm sorry, I didn't call him I'm calling him a piece of shit because they're trying to lowball Lucha Underground. For one, now, the El Rey Network has been alive for about a good year or so, but not having the ratings that they have right now is because of Lucha Underground. Wrestling is brought attention to your fucking network. But instead of being kind to the wrestlers and to the, well, not saying promotion because they are a part of AAA Lucha Libre, I'm talking about to the TV show being kind to them, you try to lowball them and undercut them. You're not giving them the same, you don't want to give them the same production money that they need to continue their show, and the success that their show has had is because they have money to get it done. From the production, from the stars that come in and out of there, and from the stars that's there. And you want to cut them, and if you cut them, they're going to lose stars, they're going to lose production value, and then guess what? El Rey, Robert Rodriguez, you guys are going to lose viewers, because if Lucha Underground goes down the train, I may just being, just saying this, but maybe about 40% of your viewers are going to go down the drain, because you have those viewers because Lucha Underground. So you need to start treating your wrestling company with some fucking respect. Don't try to undercut them, because if they leave and go to a bigger network and they blow up, you're going to be like, oh, they did us so bad and they just got on and then they left us. You better watch out, because if Spike TV don't get Global Force, if I'm Spike TV, or whatever the case may be, or Telemundo, or somebody, I'm putting in a bid for Lucha Underground, because they took that little rinky-dink, hole-in-the-wall TV station, and they made it a global phenomenon. A lot of people are watching El Rey now, not just for the wrestling now, but for their old school movies, their Death Fist and their karate and oriental flicks, which I love, you know what I mean? But everybody started watching those because of Lucha fucking Underground. You don't bite the hand that feeds you. You try to help them out and get them to go to higher heights. You don't cut them at the knees. You don't throw their dick in the dirt. And I'm sorry for the kids that's listening. I didn't mean to say that. But if you're a kid, you don't need to be watching this show anyway. If you're not a grown adult and can't hold to grown conversation.
Peter in the dirt.
Yeah, for real. And it's bullshit what they're doing. Because they're only doing it because they know they have the upper hand, because they are the network. And I tell you what, network, you need to get your head out your ass and realize that Lucha Underground is feeding your ass for your whole damn network. And if you lose them, your network's going to
that shit won't even make
shit house.
Christmas. You can cancel Christmas.
And that's it. And I'm going to let Randy move on. That's all I got to say.
That's right.
Get your shit together, El Rey. Get your fucking shit together.
Don't try to undercut Lucha Underground. Are you fucking stupid?
For real. Cut Dust Till Dawn or something like that.
It's going to be another unsolved mystery. You better dig up old Bobby Stack.
I know it's good, but I mean, I love that show. But at the same time, don't undercut the hand that's feeding them. And right now, it's fucking Lucha Underground.
There's going to be another unsolved mystery, and we don't have time to go dig up Bobby Stack.
Okay. I'm trying to hurry this up because it's been an extended episode, because we run about a minute, hour 25 right now. So I'm hurrying to wrap this bitch up. You know who I'm tired of hearing about? And this is not a TNA bash this week.
Yeah, good job, TNA.
Yeah, I'm not on you this week. Yeah. Fucking Bill Goldberg. I'm really tired of hearing this fucking bastard. I'm like, he sit there crying, he walk around crying. Oh man, I don't want to wrestle. Next thing you know, I want my son to see me wrestle. Come back around. I ain't gonna do nothing else wrestling. Next thing you know, he's spearing somebody in City Field at a damn show. No, he's spearing Big Pop Bump. Holla, if you hear me. Now, he keep all this crying and bitching and moaning and crying and bitching and moaning. I'm tired of hearing you. You keep talking about you don't care about wrestling, but you keep bitching about wrestling. You keep talking about, oh, the WWE like me, but I want them to bring me back. Okay, if the WWE don't want me, Jeff Jarrett came trying to talk to you. You went totally out of his price range. Motherfucker, you're 48 years old. Realize that. They might can get a good 10 minutes out your old ass. That's it, you're probably going to be winded.
If that's shit, 2 minutes. If that shit, I might cut a fart longer than that motherfucker.
Jesus Christ. I'm like, I'm tired of hearing your fucking crying ass. You're supposed to be this badass motherfucker. And you sitting here crying like a bitch. On and on and on and on. Man, fuck. I'm like, every week I see something. Because I scour the internet to look for new stories to put up from wrestling. And I swear, every fucking week, it's Bill Goldberg. It's Bill Goldberg
Complaining
said
about
something.
Shit.
I mean, damn. You shut your rabbit ass up and go on with your life. You say you okay, go raise your son, be with your wife. Do that. If you ain't about coming back to wrestling, then shut the fuck up.
Shut that goddamn shit down.
I'm just tired of hearing your fucking mouth, man.
You gotta bring that price tag down.
Yeah, he had like his goddamn 98 still.
Yeah, for real.
For the money he wants.
No, see, his problem is, he keeps talking about, I want to do this for my son. No, motherfucker. If you wanted to do it for your son, you'd have came at a reasonable price tag. Even if the WWE was talking to you, you'd have came back at a reasonable price tag and be like, man, I'm coming back because I want my boy to see. You know?
I did it for The Rock.
Shit, he ain't doing it for The Rock. He doing it for the shit to go in his pockets.
Yeah, basically. Go find another car show, man.
Shit, you should have saved your fucking money.
Yeah.
I mean, shit. All y'all basically robbed AOL Time Warner.
Was getting paid big chips.
All y'all was getting paid, not doing no work for years. That's why you had to wait. And some of y'all had to buy out your contract. That's like Booker T. He bought out his contract. Well, Nash, you know, his greedy ass, he waited till his contract run out.
Yeah, because he wanted to get all his money.
Yeah, he wanted to get all that fucking paper.
Fucking Goldberg had 30 second
all
matches.
the motherfuckers that was over in WCW making all that fucking money. You sit there, you robbed WCW, you put shitty talent out there.
Yeah.
I mean, you bastards couldn't go. And then you wanted to talk about the WWE where people didn't have y'all names over there and they was going. To wrap this puppy up in the end of the day, Bill Goldberg, you're my kitchen bitch, you bald bastard. And I understand that because I got a bald head.
Yeah! Got a ball head. And happy birthday to the natural Bush Reed. Really should have been the first black champion before Ron Simmons. The dude had it all. Power, charisma, mic skills. He was the damn man. Hey, bam. Bush Reed, you the man, man.
Today,
you the man.
to wrap this bitch up, Brock Lesnar, happy 30th birthday. Shane Hurricane Helms, happy 41st. And Sami Zayn, happy...
Brock Lesnar older than 30.
No, he's 38.
38.
And I said 38. Yeah. And happy 31st birthday or 30th birthday to Sami Zayn. Get well. You much needed to come back. And that wraps this fucking show up.
And that's it, Wrestlehead. So join us next week. We're going to go ahead and get you more involved in what's going on, the fallout from Battleground. And we'll see you next week. Wrestlehead's signing off.
Bill Goldberg, bitch ass shit. I'm tired of hearing that fucking
Yeah, he should stop talking. If he ain't gonna wrestle, then fucking stop. Shut the fuck.
So next week, what you wanna...
Rabbit mouth motherfucker.